I am Rohit Ponnapalli. I'm the CISO for Envoy Global, and we'll start with the introduction.
Hello. Yeah, I'm T. Prasad from Ramoji Group, working as a CTO, 28 plus years of experience. Thank you.
Hi, good morning to all present here. Myself, Munish Kumar, Head Cybersecurity of National Cybersecurity Research Council, and also founder and director of RedTeam Factory and BugDiscover.
So since we have a CTO next to me and I have a red teamer and advisor sitting next to me, I'll slightly moderate the discussion. So before we start, right, so you all must have seen the agenda, National Cybersecurity 2030, right? So we'll share one opening statement depending on the business we are in or depending on the perspective we are. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I would like to use as a latest trend is AI. So AI and cybersecurity. So generally, cybersecurity started around. This antivirus is there in olden days. It's like a reactive process only. It's like 1980s, 1990s. So coming to the this one, MDR, EDR, XDR, and SOC systems are also enabled. Now, with the help of AI systems, we can able to do both reactive as well as proactive as well as reactive. And recently, for the SOC systems implementation of with the help of AI, both sides, it's like SWOT. Both sides are there. Attackers as well as defenders can be, but attackers are more moving than defenders. But defenders also fighting with the same thing. The AI systems coming to the opportunities, what are the opportunities are there in AI is we are able to enhance the product security systems as well as the cloud systems. Suppose in the coding side, take it as a coding side. Cloud coding is there that will be developing the users by default the cloud coding, and they develop the code as well as they are using that one. So that if it is using that code as it is, it's more secure patches are there. It's not like that using as it is. It has to be suppose some keys are there what in the coding, or they are using the code as the unique code. It will generate unique code, so that it will be more insecure. And other opportunities of there is like threat hunting. Suppose if we have to use this one for the recently phishings are there. Phishing is there from long back onwards, email phishings as well. But now with the help of AI, phishings are more increased. It will taken like as it is how you are writing how mail is coming from your friend or your colleague. So it is generating as it is. So that it's with the help of that email recently. Bank of Baroda has done like that only. So what they are doing, attackers is doing capturing our credentials, and as it is they are entering into our internal systems, finance systems, and their entire intra network. They are entering into the internal systems, and they're creating the issues, and same like that. After that, they are apart from phishing, and second one is like media creation, means synthetic media. So they are creating wishing mail systems, like they are creating as it is voice what you have. Asking the payments from the through mobile whatever it may be. And if it is like how this is for the boardroom directors, it's more issue, because they are creating as it is same voices, and they are calling their staff and they do the payment like that. This is the issues. These major issues are increased because of AI.
Okay. Munish, from your perspective, right, when we talk about Cyber India 2030, what do you vision from your perspective, one key pillar for building the Cyber India 2030?
As a team is, Cyber 2030, and we, as in country, we have been digitalizing, and our digitization has been rapidly been increasing. So this actually, brings in a huge attack surface for the adversary actors, and we have been, going through the similar, deterministic adversary attacks day by day, and this is something which we need to all, as thought leaders, and the leaders and CISOs and CXOs over here should build and think what it would be for the nation as well as for the enterprises by 2030. So coming from the offensive security background, we have been having the best technologies today, right from we have very good visibilities, we have great attack surface, monitoring tools, and speaking on compliance, we almost have several compliances in place, which actually brings in a lot of controls. The biggest question lies here is, are these controls really stopping the adversaries? That is where, the key point we need to think. So we have, so much of investments done across the critical infrastructures, but still the adversaries are able to, crack through it. So this is where, we need to rethink and understand what actually the adversary's perspective, rather than thinking on the defender perspective. So I would say, in an organization or within the country, in the board, we need to bring in a question, rather than asking what are the number of vulnerabilities, we need to ask what would be the possible adversarial action that would happen against our organization or the nation. So this perspective will start, making our environment more capable to address or retaliate, or even if there is an compromise that have happened, we get to know how quick or how soon we can, restore ourselves and get to the mitigations. More than this, today we have artificial intelligence, which really, being utilized by most of the organizations. And I believe, AI should set on its boundaries, where AI should assist defenders on the capability building and decision making, and prioritizing the visibility to a decision producing process, rather than performing the attack scenarios, or generating set of alerts and correlating that. Beyond all these things, I believe AI should assist the defenders on identifying and planning what would be the next validation step they need to take on.
Good. So we heard from a CTO, we heard from an advisor, right? So as a CISO, what I always believe is a customer trust. Right. And when we talk about Cyber India 2030, I always believe in India is always fast growing country, and we should, from cybersecurity point of view, we should strive towards a trusted digital ecosystem along with a fast growing economy. Trust is something is important not just in the business but in the citizen services also. See, over a period of time, from my experience with respect to building SOC for AP government and Telangana governments and other governments, and implementing cyber security for governments, what I understood is governments, they handle huge amounts of PII data, right? And not just PII data, when we talk about providing digital services. See, these days I always feel cybersecurity should be considered as a typical utility services like your electricity and all that, right? Because see, every time we do a transaction, every time we do a service with the government, a transaction with the government, everything we do it in the form of digital payments or digital transactions, right? So trust is very much important to ensure, one, you're not making a fake payment, or you're not losing your money. You trust your government services, and you ensure that your data is safe with the government. And I feel that should be the way forward if we talk about Cyber India 2030, where we are going. At the same time, we have a trust with government agency, we have a trust with our own citizen services, we have a trust with, let's say, private parties, and a collaboration between public and private entities. Okay, so to continue with our discussion, I think from morning we heard about AI, we heard about DPDPA privacy, we heard about resiliency, and we heard about multiple things, right? And from my point of view, I always feel resiliency is very much important, whether it is public or private. I'm not sure how many of you work for government agencies or support government agencies, but I'm always scared of August and January months. And for US companies, I'm sure December is a scary month for a security professionals. We all face multiple phishing attacks, right? And definitely August 15th and Jan 26th, most of the government agencies are prone to cyber attacks. And I still remember last year we were trekking, and then there was a ransomware attack on the government incident. We had to stop the trek and do the support while trekking. So when we talk about resilience, Munish, since you spoke about advisories, we have a very complicated setup in the government, right? You have vendors, you have government agencies, regulatory bodies, and all that. Why do you still think we are failing towards responding to incidents? See, definitely attacks will happen, but why are we not recovering faster? What do you feel a challenge can be there?
So it's a very good question. So here, the fact is, till the burden is on the CISOs. But
you can't make you're responsible for everything.
But the reality is, as he told, the phishing is not only for a security team or for the technology department. A phishing email usually targets the finance or an HR agency or the HR department. It is across the departments. So here, cybersecurity becomes a shared responsibility. It doesn't fall to a specific. It does not, fall within a specific team or a department. So here, the major problem is everybody should take cybersecurity as a part of their department, and that has to be educated. So building awareness within each department is one of the process, and more than that, a CISO taking a decision it is equivalent to an independent within the organization from any other department is taking a decision to make some changes to the cyber environment. So this decision is a direct impact of the business impact, where we are giving some way for the adversaries to get in. So here the question to answer to this is cybersecurity should be everyone's responsibility within an organization, and when it comes to nation, as a citizen, all of us should understand what are the emerging threats, because it have become a very norm, right from ordering food on any app or making a financial transaction. There are a lot of scams, and there are a lot of spams we get a lot of ways to get compromised. So it becomes each and every one of us responsibility to understand and reduce the attack surface for the attackers. So this would drastically reduce the number of threats what we are facing today.
Prasad sir, over to you. Since you spoke about AI, AI definitely. You want to continue with the statement?
Yeah.
Since AI is definitely being implemented, let's not say adoption, it's already being implemented. POCs are done, people are spending money there to procure products or implement AI. And I'm sure you're also implementing a lot of AI tools. So when we talk about complicated systems like government agencies, definitely AI adoption will be recommended by multiple vendors, right? What do you see from AI implementation point of view for development with respect to India as a fast growing country?
Once AI's development, SDLC means software development lifecycle also has to be changed. Requirement is required. Why? Because privacy, as Rohit said, privacy by design. So it's designing from the starting of the requirement gathering onwards, because that is DPDP Act also included here. So once capturing the requirement on itself, it has to be taken. What type of data we have to collect, what type of data we have to take the consent, and everything has to be. It's like a coordination with the consent manager as well as developer. Has to be and requirement persons means software application requirement persons has to be taken care. And coming to the second level in the software development cycle, at the time of the development, developer also has to be taken care. So where I have to use this data and where I have to check the consent, and because developer responsibility also is there to develop is the considering data is the consent is there or not, like the data protection impact assessment has to be done there. And coming to testing side also, it has to be two type of tests. One is normally previously it was tested as the application is working properly or not, is there working is as per our norms or not, is the testing is done. But now it is the secondary case, is the testing of the consents, is the collecting data consents are taken or not, means it has to be done through AI only, it's not like manual. So once if it is implementing, they have to run the AI tool or develop the AI tool, and they have to check, okay, is the program as well as the consent both are matching or not. If not match, they have to throw out there itself. And finally, implementation side, it will come while implementation also, it has to be both consent manager, consent system as well as both. This has to be implemented together. This SDLC life cycle for the developers will change apparently for this one. Thank you.
Okay. We'll slightly change the topic on how can we look forward, right? We have multiple agencies, NCSRC, we have DSCI, we have CERTIN and all that. Can we look at a public-private collaboration to look forward how we can improve the overall cybersecurity posture of India? Not say our nation, but India. Let's say it can be a government agency, it can be a government department, it can be banking sector where government banks are there, or it can be a vendor who's supporting the government. What do you think will work out between public-private partnership?
So I believe, currently the public and private partnerships are already been establishing, and it's still evolving around. So I think that is a good practice, especially when it comes to private organizations, they bring in a lot of industrial experiences, and the collaboration is really meaningful. But adding to it, as one of the speakers today told, he was speaking about, periodic testings are really, no more a huge value to an environment, because we are having so many alerts in table, we have beautiful modernized SOCs in the for the critical infrastructures, but still the biggest problem is we have been kept attacked. So here, doing annual or biannual testing of the infrastructure really doesn't make sense because attackers think in a different way. So here, as I earlier told, this collaboration should build more on building what would be the next decision by correlating the existing investments on different technologies, what we have done. So basically, we have a very good visibility of the environment, but converting this visibility into a decision solution for the defenders to understand from the attacker's view and plan what would be their decision to at each stage to understand how they protect themselves. So for this, the continuous reassessment of the decision making has to be done rather than doing a periodic testing which we practice currently, for which the collaboration between the public and industries, private entities would really help in, because private entities have larger data of information because they handle different kind of scenarios, and public organizations would be handling especially the critical infrastructures where these data can be involved, enriched, and moving forward on collaboration as a nation we can secure ourselves.
Yeah, see, one addition to the point is, I always believed in these two taglines during COVID time. One is Worker for Local, and other one is Built by India, Built for India. Right? Just to add to your point, I always believed in the cyber security products from India. See, when we talk about, let's say, cybersecurity solutions, we always look at Gartner quadrants, right? And we always see all the cybersecurity products from across the globe. And but one thing surprised me here is, except one or two vendors, everybody is India grown and Indian products, right? And I always encourage cybersecurity products from India, and I think the encouragement from government and the incorporation of those security products for securing digital India, I think would be a great advantage. And I'm sure we have certain empanelment and other empanelments, maybe an incubation center for cybersecurity products for a specific business use case, maybe for deep tech companies or maybe any other industry sectors. I think would be an added advantage for the vision of 2030, right? And second challenge or second key focus area that we should always look at is the cybersecurity workforce. And we always say there is a shortage for cybersecurity, and I don't think I heard of any layoffs in cybersecurity so far, which you all can agree, right? But one thing for sure is what we are lacking from the Western world with Indian world is the amount of internship that we provide for the students. That is what I'm missing, what I feel is missing when we talk about workforce development for cybersecurity. See, the internship doesn't always have to be, if I talk about 2012, 2017, cybersecurity itself is a new domain altogether, and it was always an extension of IT department. And I learned cybersecurity through library and couple of YouTube videos, and then followed by 2017 EC Council was promoting a lot of certifications, and then couple of governments like AP, Telangana, Maharashtra, they started looking at cybersecurity as a separate sector for improving cybersecurity companies and all that. And then BTech cybersecurity came in, MTech cybersecurity came in, and we have multiple colleges giving cybersecurity as a specialization also. But when we talk about opportunities, right, a mechanical guy will always sit in IT placements, and the AC guy will always sit in IT placements. Why a cybersecurity guy have to sit in IT placement? Why not have a cybersecurity placement separately? Why not we encourage the system of, internships, more and more internships in product development? It can be cybersecurity product development. It can be cybersecurity SOC analyst. It can be anything. I think that is one piece that we are missing. Maybe we are not building more professionals with respect to cybersecurity. I am open for any comment between you two.
Yeah, so this conference is actually Cyber India 2030. So for 2030, if we want to move to Cyber India, fully cyber secure India, each public has to be awareness is required. Because of this awareness only, that is the 60 to 70% of the issues came because of the awareness, lack of awareness only. Somebody is calling the phone call and they're if they asking to click some other link, they are clicking. So this awareness is lack of in organizations also, not only entire public, in few organizations also awareness training is very much required. Otherwise, if that is there, then I think we have move ahead to more than cyber before that 2030 also.
See, since Sir said about awareness, I will give a small story. See, I've been to many conferences as a speaker, and every time I post in LinkedIn, I don't get much impressions or much likes and all. But yesterday, last week, my daughter, first standard, she went through their exams, and there were 3 questions related to cybersecurity, which I'm surprised. And she failed in all those 3. Okay. I kind of laughed because I'm a CISO and my daughter failed in those 3 questions. Simple questions. Can you click on unknown links? Can you talk to strangers? Can you open camera when you're playing games? Simple 3 questions. She failed. And I posted the same thing. And I felt there is a need for awareness for kids also, because everybody's phone addicted, right? It's not us. Even my daughters both are addicted to YouTube and all that. So from adversary's point of view, or from and to continue to conclude it, and I had 18,000 impressions. Okay, just because I posted something beyond what I do in my career. See, one thing I understood is so far awareness is definitely important, and with the digital ecosystem that we are going through, what do you think the awareness should be for, let's say, kids or students or upcoming professionals, or maybe when we talk about rural areas, and with all the consent management coming in, everybody have to click on accept. I think what awareness is definitely needed, and they should know whether when we click on accept, is it going to the consent or it is going to a phishing link. What do you think we should transform in awareness to citizens?
Yeah. So before this, I want to give a gist about the ecosystem of NCSRC. So I've been traveling with NCSRC almost for last close to 15 years, I believe. So since regarding this workforce and stuff, the early stages when NCSRC started, we used to go out to several colleges and we used to conduct workshops. So this is how it started. Initially it was conferences, then it became workshops and training sessions, certifications. So period evolved, and last 2 years people who have been following NCSRC would have been aware of this. So now we are in still search of, I'm telling you, 15-year journey, and still we are in search of cybersecurity professionals or a workforce. So what we started to do is we were conducting hackathon. So this hackathon was, a periodic stage where, we had objective questions, multi-choice. That was the basic thing to encourage and bring in people inside cybersecurity space. And next we had, CTF kind of challenges, and then we had live environment of, attack and restore process. So this was almost carried across, different states, and this was done along with, support of the state and the central government. So here, when, we conducted this hackathon, we got to know that there are so many talents hidden who have been not really exposed, who doesn't speak a lot. We all speak a lot, but these kids, don't speak a lot, but they were able to prove on table. So here, the workforce, identifying the workforce, I believe, rather than going on a traditional way of, I think almost it's been changed, but, cutting down the traditional way of interview sessions and, focusing ways on identifying the real talent would be giving them a real challenge and solve it. So in that case, the workforce problem would be solved. And, getting to the awareness, building awareness. So there are a lot of platforms like NCSRC today where awareness is being spread across. But starting from the kids, so I had a recent experience, not recent, maybe a year ago. I got an opportunity to speak with kind of 3rd to 7th grade school students. So it was very interesting, I was giving them information of what would be the, cyber challenges they would face and all these things. And end of all the session, I was able to understand that almost every one of them were into one of the social media accounts. They have their accounts, which by law, it is not supposed to be done. But, today's students, they use it. But what would be the awareness given to them? So I made, a curious session over there and made them understand, whatever. So they need to understand first, whenever they are having a digital device, it can be a mobile phone or a tablet or a computer. So I asked them, how many of your parents know that you guys are into social media? Almost none of them opened up. Later it came to know most of their parents are not aware that these kids are into social media.
How many accounts they have, not just one account.
Yeah, that is another scariest thing. So here, since the faculties were there, this is a serious issue. So here, it is important, today we cannot restrict kids stating that no, you are not supposed to use internet, or you're not supposed to use, the mobile phones or tablets or whatever. So I would say parental control software should be installed in all of their devices, not in a stealth mode, making the kid to understand why it has been installed. And this education is not given to the parents, but given to the kids. So they actually, I gave them few challenges. One is this, and second thing is like, we are getting a lot of spoofed calls or spoofed messages. Say somebody randomly calls you and says that, hey, Papa has admitted, you need to come out, like all these things. So here I gave them an idea, like, create a family code. So this code is only between you and your parents, and whatever statement they say, you need to give a code. If you're stating something to them, you need to give a code, and otherwise your parents need to give a code, and that validates that it is a real statement if it is from a different number or whatever kind of thing. Similarly, I told like you guys need to go sit with your parents, explain them what you utilized on your phone, and ask them to put a parental control and make sure it is not to spy you people what you're doing. It is to understand what are you into trouble, are you on a safe zone, and to educate you more how better the internet space can be used. So this kind of awareness should start from the kids, because they actually are in a state to really understand and educate their parents, and they actually take the position of performing it. And I believe for current professionals and current college grad people, we have a well settled environment where we get a lot of ways of awareness. It's just about building the curiosity, interest, and jumping inside one of the teams and understanding. But the riskiest part is about the kids, and where the kids has to be really given awareness, because today's internet is growing fast, and the adoption of these younger generation is highly fast than whatever we think. So they should be given a better awareness, and this should be a major role by the parents and also the faculty members of these students to be a part of it.
Since we are running out of time, let me summarize the discussions and then we'll be open for any suggestions. See, I think definitely 2030 is definitely worth looking for, with all the AI coming to picture, and adversaries are incorporating AI to attack AI systems as well. And resiliency plays an important role. It doesn't matter which applications you have or which kind of security controls you have. If a UPI is down, can you survive? How costly can you recover? Or if an airline is down, how costly can you recover? Resiliency definitely plays an important role, because none of us can escape a security incident. Me as a CISO, I'm telling you, we can't escape a security incident, right? And finally, when we talk about India, definitely investments are definitely needed. Encouraging India cybersecurity products and cyber ecosystem of India, followed by AI incorporation and AI roadmap and AI advisory or AI regulatory. Of course, we have AI regulatories in place from RBI and SEBI and all that, but as a nation, where are we with respect to AI roadmap and AI implementation? And then followed by awareness to multiple levels of citizens, right? Everybody has a smartphone, so we should be worried about what data we are storing and how we are securing or what we are clicking on. And finally, the investments within the organization and the collaboration between public and private entities. I'm sure this would bring a trusted digital ecosystem of India 2030. Thank you. Any comments or any suggestions or any of your viewpoints for 2030? Good. Thank you.